Welcome guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut and sew a vintage shirt collar step by step. As you can see right here, I already joined the borders, I've joined the shoulder, and I've joined everything on the outfit. Just remaining the collar aspect. I've got several questions about this part, so I'm going to take you guys through the cutting and the sewing of this step by step. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you give this video a thumb up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is actually not a general vintage outfit, it's like more of a dashiki outfit because the sleeve is cut with the borders, and all I have to do is just to join the side and leave a space for the sleeve, as you guys can see right here. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. If you want to see the video of how to cut and sew a vintage shirt, a link will be in the description below, or you can just simply check the video gallery to see that this is the final result of the outfit. You can see what I have here, just the basic casual vintage shirt, and you can see the lapel, you can see the collar area. In order to give it that flat shape, I'll be taking you guys through the process of this, so make sure you smash the like button. Why have you not smashed the like button? And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. Yes, so right here, as you can see, I already joined my borders, and at this neck area, you can see I have a notch before the lapel, right? Take a closer look at that corner right here. I have a notch before the lapel. So at that notch area, at the other side also, you're going to see that I have a notch at that area also, at that end. So in case you want to see the full video, just go into the video gallery. I already make a complete video of how to cut a vintage shirt, so you're going to see where you're going to make a notch at. So right now, from that notch area to the other notch, I'm going to measure the neck circumference. As you guys can see, I'm going to place my tape here. So when you're doing this part, make sure you're not dragging the fabric. Just take your time to just align it straight and just have a straight measurement. So now at that second notch, as you guys can see right here, I have a total of 16.5 inches, right? 16.5 inches. So now I'm going to fold this together, the neck area, I'm going to fold it together and get a center point. So just like this, align the both tip of the neck, which is the lapel area, to the other tip and fold it together in order to get a center, in order to get the center part of the outfit. So I'm going to make a notch at that place, as you guys can see. So that's the center part of my neck. You see what I have here? You can see that. That's where I'm going to align my collar to. So the next thing we are going to do now is to simply cut out our collar. So as you can see, my neck circumference is 16.5 inches. So now on my collar, this is a collar stay, these are collar interfacing. The wideness of the collar is going to be 2 inches, but here I'm going to cut 2 1/4 of an inch. 2 1/4. So I need you to pay attention to this. And the length of the collar is 16.5 inches, but I'm going to add 1 inch to that in order to give me a slant of the collar itself. So here I'm going to cut 17.5. I want you guys to pay attention to the measurement that I'm measuring so you can understand. So if your neck is assuming like 18, you're going to add 1 inch depending on how much you want the angle to be, right? Just add 1 inch to that. So here I have my 17.5 inches here. So this neck, this total interfacing that I cut is 17.5. So now all you're going to do now is to simply fold these together. You can see what I'm doing here. Fold these together, make sure it's aligned very well. You can see that. Fold it together, you see what I have. So at the tip, so now what you're going to do now is to divide your 16.5 into 2 places, right? 16.5 into 2, just fold it like this. You see that? So here I'm having 8 1/4 of an inch, 8 1/4. So make sure you get that very well. And I'm going to simply place the 8 1/4 at this place right here. You can see at the down part. So I'm going to simply make a notch at where the 8 1/4 end. You can see that. I'm going to make a notch there. You see what I did right there? So from that side, I'm going to cut a sharp edge. From that side, I'm going to simply slant that edge all the way like this. You can see what I'm doing here. You can actually use your pen to make a straight line and use your ruler at this corner, but most of the time it's a vintage shirt, so I can just use a rough hand in order to skip that. So you can see the kind of edge I'm having. If you want it more slanted than that, you can go for like 2 inches in order to give you that tip, like a sharp edge. So now remember we cut our neck at the wideness of the collar at 2 1/4. So what I will be doing now is to simply cut out the 1/4 of an inch, the 1/4 of an inch out of it. So you can just use your pen to mark it at that place from that 1/4 of an inch, right? That 1/4 of an inch, you can simply mark it. But here I'm just going to simply cut it like this. You can see that. And I'm going to make it curve all the way to the edge. You see what I have here? So that place is going to simply relax on your neck very, very well. You see what I have? So I'm going to leave the upper part straight, just like that. Or if you want to do any design, you can simply go for that. So this down part is going to be a total of 16.5 inches. You see that? And the upper part is going to give me a total of 17.5 inches. So far, so that I can have that flare collar shape. So the next thing we're going to do now is to simply attach this to our fabric. So this is the fabric I'll be using for the collar. So I'm going to simply cut this into 2. So let me just cut this and show you this so that we can just continue with the coming. So this is my fabric. Make sure you're working with the right side of the fabric. So this side that is facing up is the wrong side and the down part is the right side. So I'm just going to place my collar on top of it like this. You can see that. So when you're placing this, make sure there's a space on the edge of the fabric that you can fold towards the interfacing, right? Make sure there's a space. So I'm going to iron this and we can continue with the folding of the collar. So let me iron this. So after ironing this, you can see that, make sure it is firm to the fabric. Then you're simply going to fold the fabric on the edge. You can see that, and simply iron it down. You see what I'm doing? If you're enjoying this video so far and you're yet to smash the like button, bro, just click this like button and make sure you subscribe. Why have you not subscribed? You can see that, and simply iron it down. You see what I'm doing? I'm going to steam it at that corner. You can see that. You can see that. So after that is done, the next thing I'm going to do now is to simply turn this backward like this. You can see that. Make sure the edge at the top is very straight, and I'm going to make a stitch at this corner right here, just at the side. I'm going to lock that place, and also here I'm going to simply lock that side also. The fabric is a little bit slippery, so you have to take your time to do this. Your fabric might not be slippery, it might be like a cotton, but this is a vintage material, so it's like silk and it's just running around. I'm going to trim out all these edges. You can see that, and I'm going to trim out this edge also. You can see, trim out that edge. Then I'm going to simply turn the neck to the right side. And after turning it, make sure you pinpoint all these edges. You can see that, pin it out. And also this side, you can see, I'm going to pin that side also out. You can see that. And after that is done, take your time to iron it. That's the most important part. Make sure the ironing balanced the collar. The collar has to be as balanced as possible. You can see what I'm doing. You can see that. Make sure it is relaxed and it is balanced very, very well. You can see that. Take your time. You can see what I'm doing. Make sure it is relaxed very, very well. See what I have? So after that is done, the next thing is I'm just going to trim out the excess fabric. So while you're trimming out the excess fabric, make sure you're leaving at least 1/4 of an inch for your turn up, for the collar turn up. So I'm just going to cut that part out. You can see that. You can see. So make sure you leave some inches for the turn up. So after that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to simply align the collar like this. Align it, make sure it is accurate, and I'm going to make a notch at that place also for my center, right? For my center circumference. You can see that. So the next thing we are going to do now is to simply join it to our bodice. You can see that. So right here on the bodice itself, you can see, Depending on what you want, I want the interfacing part, the part with the interfacing, that's what I want to show after the turning of the neck, after I do the opening of the collar. So I'll be turning the fabric sideways. So I'm going to start the collar from the back of the fabric of the outfit. You can see like that. I'm going to align it like this. So when I turn this and I do the opening of the collar area, the interfacing area is the one that is going to open on the chest. So that is my intention of why I'm actually joining it this way. You can see that. So I'm going to simply go to the sewing now, and when you're stitching this, make sure the notch area actually align together. So this is what I'm going to be doing. You can see from the back part of the outfit, of the main bodice, I'm going to place my collar. You can see that. I'm going to place this under the machine. You can see what I'm doing. From the notch area, you can see that. Simply align that part very, very well. I'm going to run my stitch just like this. You can see that. Take your time and make sure that place is aligned very well. You can see what I have. So we can do a turn up at that area. Make sure that place is aligned very, very well. So you're just going to align it and make sure the collar is aligned to the notch part of your bodice of our neck circumference. Make sure that notch area, you can see, make sure the notch is aligned together. You can see that. Make sure the notch is aligned together, and I'm just going to run a straight stitch. You can see what I'm doing here. You can see that. Take your time all the way to this last edge. You can see it's actually accurate. You can see that. I'm just going to run a straight stitch. You can see that. You can see that. I'm going to do the final lock up at this place. You can see. So all we have to do now is I usually I like to iron my neck at this area. So I'm going to simply do a turn up at this place. So I'm going to iron it first before we do the neck turn up, so that the fabric is going to be inside of the collar. So you can see after ironing it, this is what we're going to be having at that side. You can see that. Make sure you use that place to simply cover your neck. You can see, just like that. Make sure it covered that neck area easily. Easy peasy. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. So just like that, I will be stitching at the tip of the fabric. That's what will beautify your collar. That stitch, it has to be as tiny and as like very, very secretive. It must not be too obvious. So I'll be stitching at the tip of the fabric itself, just like that, as you guys can see. Make sure it is as straight as possible. You can see what I'm doing. You can see that, just like that. You can see that. You can see what I'm doing. Take your time, run a straight stitch. You can see, make sure you're stitching at the tip of the fabric itself, and I'm going to stitch it all straight down. You can see that. So push this one also inside. You can see that. You can see that. Take your time. Take your time to balance. You can see that. So after that stitch is done, you can see what I'm having on my neck area. You can see how smooth that stitch is. And if I turn it to the back side, you can see how smooth that side also is. So all you have to do now is to cut the thread, and let's take it to the ironing table in order to balance that neck before we do our lapel pressing, collar and lapel pressing, so we can have our vintage collar relaxing on the shirt very well, on the chest very well. So this is what the collar will look like. You can see that. So right now, the next thing you're going to do right here is to balance the neck, like give it a thorough ironing. You can see, first and foremost, you're going to align that lapel on the collar area. The lapel is the side that actually fold backward on your chest. That's what they call lapel, and the collar is the one that we fixed just now. So this is the lapel. You can see that separation between the collar and the neck, the fabric on the chest. You can see that place. So take your time to give it a thorough ironing. You can see, make sure it is relaxed and that place is clear of thread, because that's the part that's going to be showing in the front. You can see that. Also this side, you can see what I'm having. Take your time to iron that place also and make sure it is relaxed. You can see that. You can see what I have. You can see what I have on the edge. You can see how sharp and how smooth that place is. So the next thing we are going to do now is to fold our collar. So let me just align this very well so we can fold the collar. We can do this. So this is what our bodice is going to look like. You see what I have here. So first and foremost, in order to get that lapel looking flat and our collar also looking flat, this is the most requested part of the video that most people used to ask me about. I'll simply turn this side just like this, and I'm going to leave like at least a quarter of an inch at that back area. So I'm going to fold the collar and leave a quarter of an inch like this. You can see what I did, just like this. You can see that. You can see that. So after folding that backward, so all I'm going to do now is on one side first. On one side, I'm going to simply open that chest. So I want you guys to pay attention here. At this place, you can see, align that corner very well and make sure you have your angles right. I'm going to open that neck chest very well. So I'll be working with the collar first before I align the lapel. So I already told you guys the difference between the collar. The collar is the one at the top and the lapel is the one at the down part, right? So after aligning that part and I exposed what I needed to expose, you can see this side I want the opening to be at 7 inches in total. So I'm going to align the neck very well and I'm going to simply press the collar first. I'm going to press the collar. You can see that. Take my this and I'm going to simply press that down. So after pressing that down, I'm going to control my exposure. So here I don't want this place to reflect too much. You can see that. Use your hand to control this. I'm going to simply iron the lapel also all the way to the neck. You can see what I just did. You can see that, and I'm going to iron it down. See what I have. See what I have. You can see that. So after that is done, the next thing I'm going to do now is going to be on the second side. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the second side. So take your time to balance that neck and make sure your neck is balanced very well. Exactly what you did here is what you're going to do on this side also. Fold it backward and get your balancing. You can see that. You can see what I'm doing. That's what I want to reflect in the front. Get that right. You're going to expose the same amount of fabric you expose at that neck corner. You can see that place that I touch. Make sure you are exposing exactly the same measurements right here. So I'm going to press down the collar first. You can see. I'm going to press it and hold that place down. You can see that. And also, you can see that. And also on this side also, make sure you expose exactly what you want to expose. You can see what I expose at that corner also. And I'll simply iron that place as well. You can see. can see what I have, and simply hold the parts down also. You can see that. So this is what our final result is going to look like. So I'm going to show you guys. All you have to do now is just to do your pressing, do the thorough pressing of the fabric. Make sure you align your logo. If you set it very well, and the fabric is actually very sleepy, right? So if you set it, your logo will be at the center part. That's definite. And you're going to iron the shoulder line very well. You can see what I'm having here. You can see that. So all you have to do now is just to do your buttonhole and do the closing on the side. I already do the closing on the side on this one. So fix your buttonholes and everything, and your fabric outfit is ready, as you can see. So this will be the final result of the outfit. As you guys can see right here, it's actually a very simple casual. You can see the neck, you can see the collar area and the lapel, how flat they relax. This is the main important part of making a vintage shirt, regardless of if it's a cut and join. This is a cut and join, and there are other ones that are separate from sleeve, but they all give you the same vibes. So that's about it on this video. You can see what I have here. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Like, bro, have you not smashed the like button? Smash the like button. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I unpicked some of the video that you're going to see on the screen right now. I unpicked them for you guys to watch next. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace, and do have a lovely rest of your day. Bye bye.